Hi, welcome to part 3 of our 5-part 15-minute yoga class series. Today we're working on the core. Every posture should be supported by the core of your body. And when we're working our core properly, we feel secure and safe and grounded in our postures. When the core is not engaged, we tend to overcompensate with other parts of the body, and that can tend to cause injury. So it's really important to begin to be aware of moving from your center within each pose. Our core also refers to our deep spiritual essence. And when we have a strong core, we begin to find it easier to move through life and make choices based on our core values. So let's begin laying down on our back. We'll need a block. So once you're laying on your back, you're going to take your block and place it between the top of your inner thighs. Bring your arms down by the sides and turn the palms of your hands up and gently tuck the shoulder blades underneath your back. Begin to squeeze the block to activate your inner thigh muscles or your adductor muscles. And then begin to press the block down towards the floor. As you press the block towards the floor, let your pelvis tip and arch your back away from the ground. Continue to squeeze the block and then round the back, tucking the tailbone. Let the lower back come all the way into the floor, and then go back the other way again. Squeeze the block and arch the back. Just go back and forth a few rounds like this. Just following the breath and really making sure that the inner thighs stay engaged the entire time. So when it comes to engaging the core, what we need to understand is that the pelvis needs to come into a neutral alignment. So arch your back again and press the block towards the floor. And then begin to lengthen your tailbone as if you're going to round your back, but you're going to stop when your pelvis feels like it's in neutral. That means there's just a small curve underneath your lower back. Not a big arch or not flattened on the floor. Find that place right in the middle. Once you've brought your pelvis into that position, take your block away, put it to the side. Pretend the block is still there and draw your thighs in towards the midline. Keep the pelvis in neutral and begin to lift both legs up off the floor at the same time, and then bring them back down again. Do a few rounds like this without changing the position of your pelvis. So your pelvis should feel like it's very stable and locked in position as the legs move. Just do a few rounds. Keep the breath calm and steady. Good. So now we're going to straighten the legs on the floor and pretend as if we're standing on the feet, right, at the top of the mat. So as I straighten my legs, I'm going to press my thighs into the floor and again let my back arch. As I press my thighs down, I'm going to try to keep the thighs on the floor and then lengthen my tailbone to engage the core, bringing the pelvis back into neutral. But I'm going to try not to let my thighs lift up. So let's do that again. Press the thighs down, arch the back. Keep the thighs down as you lengthen your tailbone and feel your navel draw back towards your spine. Now take your arms up over your shoulders. Spread the fingers and draw from the fingertips and plug your arm bones into the shoulder sockets. Press the back of your rib cage down into the floor so that the front ribs don't flare out. Press the back ribs down
And then begin to take your arms over your head without the ribs flaring. Press the top of your thighs down. Lengthen your tailbone. Press the back ribs into the floor and then reach out through your fingertips. And then bring your arms back down. And let's test this now. So bend your knees, bring your feet flat. Keep the pelvis in neutral. Keep your left foot down and extend your right leg so it's hovering above the floor. Be mindful not to let this happen, right, where your back arches. Lengthen your tailbone and draw your navel towards your spine. Draw your ribs in and press the back ribs into the floor. Switch legs. Extend through the left leg. Lengthen your tailbone. Press the back ribs down. Switch again, one more time each leg. Extend through the legs. Pretend like you have a block between your inner thighs and you're hugging in. Switch one more time. Let's take it one step further. Lift your legs. Keep your core engaged. Keep the left knee over the left hip. Extend the right leg. Hug into the midline with your inner thighs. Press the back ribs down and switch legs. Keep the breath calm. Relax your jaw, relax your eyes. Switch one more time. Extend through the right leg. Press the back ribs down. Switch again. Place the feet down. One step further. Re-engage, bring your pelvis into neutral, and then lift both legs straight up. If this is too much, just go back to the previous stage. Lower the right leg down, keep the left leg straight. Hug into the midline with your inner thighs, lengthen your tailbone, and keep pressing the back of the rib cage down so as not to let this happen. Right? Press the back ribs down. Switch legs. What we want to begin to feel here is that the body is a container, and we're learning how to draw in and contain the energy or the life force. Switch one more time each leg. And switch one more time. Left leg lowering. Good. Bring the feet down. One last option, if you feel like you can go one step further, take your arms above your head. Draw your knees up and extend your legs. Lengthen your tailbone, bring the pelvis to neutral. Press the back ribs down and lower the right leg. Pause here and switch. Keep lengthening the tailbone and hugging the thighs in. Switch one more time each leg. And lift and bring your feet down. So last option for a core exercise. This one will be both legs lowering at the same time. If that's too much for you, or you feel your lower back in any way, please don't do this one and continue working on the previous ones until you feel strong enough to do this one safely. We'll take both legs up at the same time once we've brought the pelvis into its neutral alignment. So feel neutral and then lift both legs straight up in the air. Press the back ribs into the floor and begin slowly, incrementally lowering the legs. Hold the legs, extend, lengthen your tailbone, and then inhale, lift back up. We'll do 3 more like that. Incrementally lower the legs. As you lower, keep lengthening your tailbone. Don't let your back overarch. Inhale, lift. Press the back ribs into the floor. And one last one. Incrementally lower. And lift. And bring your feet down. Okay, let's stand up.
So the last pose we'll practice is high lunge. What I want you to observe in this posture is as I'm lifting myself up into the pose, the hips are staying grounded and very stable. What we tend to do when we come up into this pose is we lift out of the hips and then we feel wobbly and ungrounded. So take a look and notice and then practice it yourself afterwards. So from the high lunge on the fingertips, grounding down first and lifting the back thigh up. Lengthen the tailbone, stay low to the floor, keep your hips stable, and then rise up, sweep the arms. Come back down, stay connected to your core without wobbling in the hips. Touch the fingertips to the floor and then come right back up again, lifting from your core. And then exhale low, we'll do 2 more like that. Inhale, lift from the core. And exhale. 1 more, inhale, lift from the core. And exhale, switch legs, other side. High lunge, lift the back thigh, sit down into the front hip and hug into the midline with your inner thighs. Lengthen your tailbone and lift from your core without letting the hips lift up. Stay grounded. And then lower again. Touch the floor lightly. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. 2 more, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one, inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Bring your knee down. You can begin to incorporate these core exercises into your practice and also adding on from each video that we've done so far. So to really engage the full core of the body, it begins at the feet and works its way up from the legs all the way into the core. So keep practicing and I'll see you next time. Bye.